Mic'd Up.
Welcome everybody to Hall of Fame Conversations, brought to you today by the Florida Sports Hall of Fame, whose mission is to serve as a driving force for celebration, inspiration, and recognition of athletes, organization, venues, and events to encourage participation in sports. I'm joined by my co-host, Barry Smith, a Hall of Fame, Florida Sports Hall of Fame, class of 22, NFL player and one of the greats of Florida State University football. Now, we're pleased to have as a guest today somebody very special. He comes from the world of highlight. And not only are we going to talk about this gentleman's career, we're going to talk about highlight too. And see, a lot of our young people don't realize that highlight is just not a beer. It's an actual wonderful sport that's been around for a long time. And we have the first American world champion in this sport, and known as one of the all-time greats. His number 37 jersey was retired. It's the only retired jersey in highlight. So we're going to celebrate a fabulous career from this Miami-born native. And with that, I'm going to introduce the Florida Sports Hall of Fame class of 2015 member, Joey Cornblit. Joey, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Look forward to it.
Well, Joey, we got your good friend Barry Smith and fellow Florida Sports Hall of Famer. Barry, why don't you lead us off?
Well, first of all, Joey, I'm very thrilled to be talking to you this morning for a couple of reasons. But of course, you and I both share that we grew up in the fabulous, South Florida, in the beautiful metropolis of Miami. And I think we grew up kind of in the golden ages of Miami, back before it's mega huge now. But anyway, Joey, God bless you.
Thank you.
Is I used to go, to the, Miami Highlight, Fronton and Dania Highlight Fronton back in the day, watching and betting on the games and all that. And of course, that's before I knew you. So I wish that I could remember if I won or lost any money betting against or for you. But anyway.
Everybody tells me they lost money.
Yeah.
I had the top win percentage, and I always tell them you must have been there on the wrong night.
Hey, Joey, tell our viewers out there, what is highlight?
Highlight is a game played with originated in the Basque Country, in the Pyrenees Mountains between Spain and France. Started way back. We play with a cesta, which is a basket tied to your hand, and we play with a pelota, which is a ball, and it's 3/4 the size of a baseball, harder than a golf ball, and it's basically on a oversized racquetball court, but the walls are granite. They have to withstand the rock hard ball, and it's played doubles or singles, and there's 8 teams in a game, and it's a round robin, and you have to serve into a box, and you can catch the ball in the air or on one bounce, and you volley back and forth until somebody drops it or hits it into the red, which is out of bounds, and that's it. I started when I was 12 years old. Want me to give you a little bit of my journey?
Yeah, absolutely. Because, this is a sport that originated in a different country. And you were, I don't know if you were the first American to play it, but you're the greatest American highlight player and one of the greatest highlight players of all time. So tell us, how in the world does a young kid from Miami get involved with this sport from Spain?
Yeah, I started when I was 12. My dad's friend used to play amateur highlight, which is a amateur facility, just like you rent a tennis court. So my dad enjoyed going to Miami Highlight and watching the games, and he took my dad one day just to go out there and try it, and I tagged along. Fell in love with the sport. I used to go every Saturday because I didn't have school. And after about 6 months of playing, the Miami Highlight opened up a highlight school to recruit American players. Got into the school, played all the leagues and little championships here and there, and then when I was 15, I won the tournament to. So I represented the United States in the World Amateur Championships that were held in Saint-Jean-de-Luz, France, um, right off over the border of Spain. We went there and we won 5 out of 8 games, won a bronze medal. United States up to then never even won a game in any of the competitions. And when I came back, I was offered a professional contract at Miami Highlight, which is considered the Yankee Stadium of Highlight. The best players in the world played at
Sure is.
Miami, and I went and I started. I was a senior in high school. I would go to in my first year professionally. I'd go to school in the morning from 7 to 11. Jump in my car and go down and play matinee. Turn around, go home, eat, and back at night. So we played 9 performances a week, which was an awful lot. 6 days and 3 matinees, and just continued to play, and that's how I started my career.
Hey, Joey, what high
Yes,
school did you go to down there in Miami?
Miami Carroll City
Okay.
in North, the Chiefs in
Yeah.
North Dade. Yeah,
Uh,
that's where I lived right near where Hard Rock Stadium is now. I lived in grew up in that area.
well, obviously, I didn't play highlight, but I did play against Carroll City in football my senior year in high school. I went to Miami Coral Park. But
Oh
uh,
yeah.
Joey, let me ask you. Looking back, you say your dad kind of took you along and kind of got you interested in the game of highlight. But I think I'd love to tell our fans out there that your dad is really a Holocaust survivor. Is that correct? He actually
Yes.
fought Moshe Dayan back in the days.
Yes.
Could you
Fought
share
for
some?
this. Fought for the Israeli independence. He
I mean,
was
that
part of the what they call the Haganah, and he was like a part of like what we know today as SEAL Team 6. He was part of that in the Israeli army.
he was a badass.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Hey, Joey, there's one thing about highlight for our viewers out there that you didn't explain, but I'll go ahead and explain it because obviously we call being on the other side of the net. There's this giant net that separates the course because you're throwing a pelota against a granite wall at God knows how many miles per hour. So you have the net, but
150.
150. So I learned something when I was a kid, just became an adult at the age of 18 in Tampa, where I grew up. You were able to go to Highlight, drink at the age of 18. You could drink beer, you could smoke cigars, and you could actually bet. And one of the favorite things is, and you might need to explain what this term is, but you would see people really, really in the audience are getting really into these games because they've got some money bet on it. And
Correct.
I kept hearing this word chula called chula. And
Yeah.
then at the end of the game, a chula would happen and would decide the game. And literally, people be running down. They're trying to climb the net because they're so involved and into the game. Tell us what a
Oh yeah.
chula.
Chula is when the ball hits with the back wall and the floor meet, hits in the crack there and just kind of rolls on the floor. That's like a perfect shot. Doesn't
Would you
happen
call that
too
a kill
often.
shot? Is that the kill shot?
That's one of the kill shots. Yeah, it doesn't happen that often, but you're talking about funny stories. I'm going to tell you a funny story about Chula. So back in the day in Miami Highlight, we used to have 10, 15,000 people a night, and we would have all celebrities, actors, actresses. They would all be there. So one night, um, Don Shula was there, and everybody's screaming "Chula, Chula!" And Don Chula stands up and waves to the crowd. He thought they were screaming his name.
I love
That's
that.
fantastic. Oh,
Hey,
my
Yeah,
goodness.
Joey, there's obviously in all sports, different athletes have their marquee, what they're known for. And I do reading about it that your game was obviously you were a stud, but one of the things that you were really, really known for was developing various forms of kill shots instead of
correct.
power game. And that was really more of a finesse thing. And how did you create those, and how did you learn those type of shots?
Well, I had probably the best teacher you could have. His name, we called him Epi, and he was like a father to me. He was a Cuban-born player that played back in the day in Cuba and even at Miami Highlight early on in the 40s and 50s. And he he wasn't a power player either. His was all finesse, and he always told me it's better to have 6 bullets in your gun instead of 1 bullet. So I I tried all different shots because I couldn't play the power game like some of the Basque players did. They were big and strong, and I wasn't. But I was more of a finesse player and used a lot of different shots, which was my that was my style of play, and uh, became very successful with that.
Here's a question I got. Uh, the court is a three-sided court. Okay, right? You got the front wall, back wall, and a side wall. Okay, which
Left side, left
would
side.
be on your left side. So, all right, were you a right-handed? Did you throw the cesta, the pelota, with the right hand or left hand?
Uh, in highlight, you could only play with your right hand. So um, everybody had, even if you're a lefty, you had to play with it on your right hand. Um, and here's a good trivia question. There's only one other sport that you have to play with your right hand. Do you guys know what it is?
Cricket?
Polo.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I
yeah.
guess it makes a
That's a
lot of sense, doesn't it? Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good trivia question. Yeah. So you have to play with your right hand. The only left-handed player that I've ever seen play was this player from France in our world championships, and he played with his left hand, and it was so difficult to play against him. It just total,
Well, yeah.
everybody's used to playing everybody with their right hand, and here's this guy, and the spin that he would throw the ball with was completely different, and it was very, very unique. But you can't play professionally, play left-handed.
Um, so Joey, one of the big controversies in your sport, because you started and for years you were the stud at the Miami Fronton, but all of a sudden, like you got next thing you know, you're playing over at the Dania Highlight, and that was a pretty controversial decision that you made from moving from the Miami Fronton to the Dania. How about? I mean, from what I understand, it's like signing Mickey Mantle away in his prime, to go, I guess, to the Mets or something.
Yeah,
Fill us in on that.
I always wanted to finish my career at Miami Highlight. Um, it was, I started in the 70s and 80s were the best years of Highlight. I always wanted to finish my career there. I was always they took care of me, but in the 80s, I tried to open my own Highlight Fronton in Phoenix, Arizona on an Indian reservation, back in the day when bingo was big for the Indians.
Right.
So make a long story short, we worked on that for 4 years. I was getting a bonus at the end of the year from management, um, for my play and my all the PR that I had to do, and because of me trying to open up a highlight fronton, the president withheld 2 years of my bonus, which was a substantial amount of money, and because he was pissed off that I was trying to open up a highlight fronton, because he knew that I would take all his players, because all the players wanted to come with me. I'd get phone calls all the time. Hey, remember me when the fronton opens.
Yeah.
So I went in to get my bonus, and they said that I wasn't going to receive it. And I got up, I walked away. I said, "Well, I'm out of here. You don't pay me my bonus. I'm not playing." So I left, and Dania Highlight contacted me the next day, and within a few days I signed a contract and started at Dania Highlight. It was a big change because the court in Dania is a little bit bigger and higher screen, but I adapted and had really good years there. So I played like 14, 15 years in Miami and 10 years at Dania. But that's the
Wow.
reason I left. Not many people know that. That's the reason I left Miami Highlight, because they owed me money and refused to pay me, and I had to go and sue them, and that didn't work out. So I let it be. I was
Hey,
I was
Joey.
incredibly mad.
Yeah. Hey, Joey. How long does somebody play highlight? I know, like with Barry in the NFL. My dad played in the NFL for 12 years, and Barry played a substantial number of years in the NFL. But in the NFL and other sports, your career on average is just very short. I mean, I think the average
Yeah,
NFL career now is like 3 years, not even four, maybe.
Yep.
And how long does one play highlight? Sounds like you played for 20 some years.
yeah. I played for 25 years. I was very fortunate. I would say middle to late 30s, early 40s, um, and that's barring some serious injury. I was very fortunate. Not too many major injuries early on in my career. My last 2 years, I had a lot of injuries. I had shoulder surgery, herniated disc surgery. Um, but yeah, you got to keep yourself in good shape. I did. Stretched a lot. Um, didn't go out partying like a lot of the other players did. I was very, very dedicated and motivated to be the best player in the world, and so I would do all that, and I think that helps. It definitely not too many bad injuries early on, but later on, and then it got to a point where I was in rehab so much with all these injuries and taking medication for anti-inflammatory. My stomach got all eaten up, and I told my wife one morning, I woke up, I said, I can't do this anymore. Um, it's too frustrating and too painful. So I retired at 40 years old.
Hey, Joey, did you ever play in Tampa?
Oh yeah, I played in Tampa. We had what they call the Tournament of Champions,
Right.
Miami against Tampa, and I
Yep.
played. We go back and forth. I entered, or I qualified to play for Miami 5 times, and I won 5 times. So we won the championship 5 times there. Loved the Tampa court. Was very close to Laka, which was a backcourt man in Tampa, and very close to him. But yeah, I played in Tampa. I also played in between my junior and senior of high school. When I was 16 years old, I went to I went to Spain to play um, uh, competition for 3 months. Didn't know the language. Small little town, what they call Guernica, the famous Picasso drawing of Guernica, the bombing,
Right.
the Germans bombing there, and didn't know the language, didn't know anything. I just wanted to, my parents sent me there, and I competed for 3 months and left talking Spanish, and now I speak fluent Spanish. But yeah, I didn't know a word. I failed Spanish in high school. It was so difficult for me. I never went to class. So, but now I speak fluent Spanish, and I'm happy that I did that. It was you learn a new culture. I was scared to death as a 16-year-old living in another country in a small town of 10,000 people, but I was bound and determined to get better. And then when I came back, I played professionally at Miami.
That's
So,
fantastic.
Joey, what is life after highlight? I mean, a lot of athletes play their sport for so long. What's life like after highlight for you? What did you get? What did you end up doing?
Well, after I end up working for a few different companies, and then I was fortunate, blessed, thankful to meet a gentleman named Scott Shear that started Ultimate Software, which is a, a tech company doing HR and payroll software. Uh, I don't know nothing about that, but it so happened that I met Scott in a cigar bar, and I was out of work for like 2 years, and I don't know it was more, who was happier to meet who, but he used to be one of my biggest fans. He parked cars at Miami Highlight. His dad and him went every night to watch me play, and I explained to him my situation, and I had the 13 best years of my working life working for him. They end up selling the company, and that's what I did. I worked for a flooring company and this and that, but working for him, all he wanted me to do is I used to go to we had a lot of players golfers that wore um, Ultimate Software on their shirts, and I'd go to all these events. We bring out clients, and I travel all over the country, play with Freddie Couples and
Wow.
all the guys that represented our company, and traveled around. I don't know if you guys know Tony Segredo, which is a
Sure.
famous broadcaster, and Tony and I for 10 years traveled the country helping with workshops and helping with these golf outings. We played some incredible golf courses, and it was so wonderful working for this country and for working with Scott Shear. He changed my life overnight, and I keep in touch with him. I love that man so much, and I'm so grateful that I met him.
So, Joey, here's a question. How did you meet your wife?
Huh, that's funny. I was in. I played back in the day. We only played 4.5 months, the winter in Miami, and then went to either in the summer either Fort Pierce or Ocala or
Yep.
Hartford, Connecticut. It was all owned by the same company, World Highlight, and I was 19 years old playing in Fort Pierce in the summer, and one of my one of my best friends, which was the announcer, was dating this girl, and her best friend was Linda, that I met. I met her one day and took her out for dinner, and the rest is history. Been married 47 years. We lived together for 3, and we've been together for 50 years. Have
Fantastic.
I got two kids, Josh and Nicole, and I have 5 grandchildren. And just so you know, they're trying to put together a movie about me. A producer from L.A. I've been working with him back and forth. He's written a book, and we're trying to get funding now for a movie about me, which would be pretty exciting. Um, and I've heard this back and forth. Oh, we want to do this with you, and nothing ever panned out. This has gone a lot farther than I ever thought it would, and we're close to um, gaining funding for this movie. It'll be filmed all over, and pretty exciting.
Hey, Barry, who's going to play the lead in his movie? We got to figure this out for him. Who are you going to cast?
Yeah,
Joey
very.
Barry
Cornblit.
Smith. Barry Smith.
Yeah.
Well, you got to keep in mind you're going to have, Barry could be a stunt double, maybe. But Barry, who would you recommend to be his lead in the movie?
Okay. Hey, Joey, here's a good one. Because I talked to him last night, told him we were going to be interviewing me, and he wanted to send his very best wishes. Your buddy Jeff Williams. Jeff Williams.
Oh, love that guy. What a
Yep.
great guy.
I
You know,
Yeah, Jeff and I, although of course he's 9 years younger than me, uh, went to the same high school, Coral Park. He also went to Florida State like I did, and of course now he's a bit. He played highlight. Back in the day,
yep,
he always talks about you were the man, you were the icon. But we play a lot of golf. He's a member
yep,
over here at Palmacia, and
yep.
great guy.
What a good guy Jeff is. I'll never forget um, when I was diagnosed with leukemia, and uh, I was taken care of by Moffitt Cancer Center, but not in Tampa. There was a wing in Pembroke Pines at Memorial West, and so that's where I got all my treatment, which thank God I'm in remission. But I went through 2.5 years of hell with everything. But Jeff, I'll never forget. He called me and said, "If you need to come to Tampa, you got a place here to stay at my place. I'll help you with whatever you need here. I have a lot of connections in the Tampa area." And I'll never forget that. It was so nice of him to do that. Um, but going back to Scott Shear, um, which I talk about him all the time.
Yep.
When I was doing treatment down in Pembroke Pines, um, my kids' places weren't conducive for me to stay there all the time. So Scott told my son to find a place for me, comfortable, nice, and he rented me a house in Pembroke Pines for 10 months, paid everything right up front, told
Wow.
Josh, take care of it. Yeah, a special
Wonderful.
person. But Jeff is a great guy, and we just had a get together down in Pompano with Howie Kalick that owned the amateur highlight that helped all these Americans uh, start in the game and become professionals. So
Well, let's.
he
Hey,
he he
hey, Joey.
came.
We know that you're sitting in a car right now,
Yep,
and we know that you're on your way to play golf.
I am.
And that's one of the beautiful things about Mic'd Up is that you can do this from anywhere, anytime. And so, Barry's in his in his room of memorabilia there, and I'm sitting in my broadcast studio up in St. Augustine, and you're in your car on the way to play golf. So we'll
Yep,
get you out of here with this one last question. How
sure.
did you become involved with the game of golf? We know earlier you talked about Fred Couples and traveling the world and doing this, but how did you personally decide to pick up a club and start playing? And what is your relationship with the game of golf today?
Oh, I'm in love with golf. Um, our trainer, back in the day, played golf, and he said, "Come on, I'm going to take you to play golf." And we did a lot of business with Webster's. I don't know if you remember Webster's Sporting Goods. So he would buy all the equipment and stuff from Webster's, and so he got me golf clubs, golf shoes, balls, and everything. And I couldn't hit the ball in the air for my life. And it was it's such a challenging game. I love it. I want to play all over. I'm up here. I live in Cape Canaveral. There's not many really great golf courses around here. So it's not like I was used to down in Miami, Fort Lauderdale. I played at the nicest golf courses there. But he started me in golf, and man, I love it. I play as much golf as I love golf and fishing. Those are the two things that I love to do. Friday I'm going fishing. Today I'm playing golf.
Hey, Joey, I want to thank you for, giving us your time today. And one last shout out. Our relationship all started with a fellow friend of ours, Dean Baker, because Dean Baker introduced us, who's a fellow Florida Sports
Yep.
Hall of Fame board member. And I do appreciate the introduction because it's, you're a fantastic guy and an outstanding Hall of Fame member.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the kind words. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you guys having me on. And I look forward to seeing you guys in Port St. Lucie. What's that, in August, right?
That's correct. We have the 9th annual Florida Sports Hall of Fame Celebrity Golf Classic,
Yeah.
August 14th and 15th. One of the
Yeah.
unique things about it is the Friday night pairings party. We actually introduce our incoming class. We'll have
Right.
our enshrinement actually early 2027. So in August, we're going to announce the 7 to 10 men and women from various different sports are going to be inducted. And that's going to be announced on that Friday night at the golf tournament. So it's going to be a special time for everybody. Well, Barry,
I
you just
sure
gave the
I sure hope you guys consider my friend Mike Kypris. That guy deserves to be in the Florida Sports Hall of Fame.
Well, that's very timely. And what we do is have actually a lot of our Hall of Fame members do nominate and have the privilege and the ability to nominate people. So when we get offline later, we'll go ahead and make sure we've got that nomination in there and get it to
Definitely.
the nominating committee. And that's just fantastic.
All
So
right,
I guess we're
guys.
going to wrap this up, Joey, because we're not going to make you late to your tea time. We
No,
promise you we get you out of here in 30 minutes, and we're getting
no
close.
problem.
Hey, so
And I
with that,
appreciate that.
yeah, so with that, you've been listening to Hall of Fame Conversations on Mic'd Up. My name is John Reger, PGA Mic'd Up Broadcaster, joined by Barry Smith, Florida Sports Hall of Fame, class of 2022. And of course, our guest today, Joey Cornblit, America's greatest highlight player, and also class of 2015 for the Florida Sports Hall of Fame. Look forward to seeing everybody again. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys.
They have